Good morning, everybody. This is a grumpy old guy gaming, coming to you somehow on time after being unable to get out of bed. Only a couple minutes behind my usual 7 o'clock start. We're going to play a little Wonder Boy this morning because that's just what I'm feeling. We're going to do a bit of a boss run here. Going to use my file up here. File 2 is my son's. See us just sort of plodding along here in human form. Let's go ahead and switch to the hand-drawn graphics. I'm going to switch to the music too. There we go. I love the way the orchestral arrangements for this game came out. So as you can see, I'm pretty well stocked on items. I've got all of the weapons, all of the armor, and all of the shields. What I'm going to be doing is using the Tasmanian sword, which is going to allow me to switch between animal forms to enable myself to get to the castles in order. One thing I want to mention right away is that I will not be able to fight the Mecha Dragon. It's the first boss in the game. It's the one that kicks off the whole thing, and technically, it's the end game boss from Wonder Boy and Monsterland, the second game in the series. But without further ado, we are going to use the Tasmanian sword. Transform into the hawk, which is going to allow us to fly above everything for the moment. You know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't do this. Let's switch to the lucky sword, which gives us a better chance of picking up large amounts of gold. Let's go busting some blocks. Lucky sword, not the most potent offensive weapon, but can get you gold in a hurry. Not that we need it at this point. Settle right by the door there. Before we go any further, let's take a look at our swords. Get 185 attack out of the legendary sword, or 220 out of the Gallic sword. Or what we could do is what I'm going to do, switch back to human form and get our full 255 for the legendary. Run the old castle here. See if I could remember this stuff. Drop down here, not in the middle. Nope. One of the few enemies we'll actually have to hit twice, as far as normal enemies go. These can potentially be others. Sneak into here, and I don't think it'll make a big difference, but we'll throw the lucky sword on again. This is the chest where you find the legendary sword when you come back. This is, of course, where you fight the Mecha Dragon right at the start of the game. And when you revisit this castle as Hawkman, you can get the legendary sword here. Subsequent runs will just give you a chest with all the gold you could ever imagine and a heart to top you off. So just that quick, we're up to 210,000 gold. Oof. Well, there goes the no damage run, huh? This guy's going to give us a key. That's going to let us get through that door. Now we don't have to worry about the falling blocks, but there will be some Cyclops to deal with here. That is where you would get the legendary armor. One more to do. Always forget about that guy. Then the legendary shield, if you're ever looking for it, right here in this well. Secret door. So yeah, that's the old castle right there, where your journey begins in this game. And drop down, take a nice little spot on the beach, and now we're going to go right into a sandier locale. Up next is the mummy dragon. Now normally you'd be the lizard man here. Lizard man doesn't have much health to him. Also doesn't have much attack power, but he has that awesome ranged attack with the fire breath. I don't know why I jumped there. Nice thing about human form is he's just a touch higher on the attack than Piranha Man or most of the other, like, person-sized forms, not the mouse, who's just tiny. So he could actually hit the large and small fire flowers without having to adjust. See a nice little dodge there. Kind of makes this screen an easy one to get through. Oof. Cloud's really messing with me, huh? Got him that time. Another one's coming here. There we go. It's not really part of it, but I did want to bring it up again, just for fun. Come all the way down here. Right inside here. This chest is going to be empty. You got your third heart there. But here in this room, you can go ahead and grab some more. A bit more money. Again, switching to the lucky sword to maximize profits. In the original game, there were only these first two chests where you could get money, and then you would get the different items in the game, like the fireball, the tornado, whatnot. And then the last one would be filled with charm stones, because charm stones worked very differently in the original game. Here, that last chest is filled with even more money. So we're gonna go ahead and exploit that real quick. I could keep the lucky sword up technically because that little pig guy is kind of weak, but when you got the legendary sword, why not just use the legendary sword, huh? Now we're going to make our way the entire way to the end, being careful not to trigger any of these chests because you can only open one chest per visit. Get the whole way to the bottom here, and yep, more gold to get. And a potion in case we weren't topped off. Well, that's quite enough of that. Normally you can only have 99 of any of those consumable items. I guess the boomerang you could kind of cheese to 100 because you could technically pick up a 99th while throwing one and then it returns to you. At least I'm assuming that's how it went. I can't remember. It's been a while. See these guys with the red hats moving much slower than the yellow hat counterparts. Take that dude out. Jump up to the top here. And there's a medical center. We could heal if we needed. We really shouldn't need. Not with this advantage. Go ahead and do my snarky turnaround, grabbing the key. And into the palace we go. Sorry, the Pyramid Hall. Moves us to the springboard room. I am way out of sequence there. But we got through it as clean as I could have expected given that. Thought I could sneak in right behind that fireball. Was not the case. That's okay, one large heart later. Switch back to the lucky sword here because we're going to grab a secret chest. Gallic Sword will also give us 255. Gallic Sword will give us a higher chance of items instead of gold. But of course, you don't get a name like the Legendary Sword without being, legendary. So I'll stick with that. Since we're so high up in attack, the Mummy Dragon only really takes 2 shots. Now, because I've been cheesing the Lucky Sword this whole time, no pun intended as we switch to the mouse, you would think I could just kill the thing with the Lucky Sword, and you're absolutely right, I could. It would take a little longer, and you'd have a much better chance at high-value coins and bags of gold coming out there. Not what I'm about there. See if I can do this. Jump up right at the arrow there, and it puts you in perfect position for a jumping slash at that guy. One of my favorite little attacks that make you look as cool as you can when you're like 3 inches high. Tiny sword though, and admittedly, Mouse Man is a badass. Grabbing yet more obscene amounts of treasure. Also grabbing a drink. And now we are off to the second field. Well, second boss, third field. And to get there nice and easy, we're going to use the hawk. If you want to see me trying to jump those fuzzballs and deal with the clouds chucking fire at me, appreciate that little statue in the background that's not there in the retro graphics, but is a really beautiful addition in this one. Nice lake on this side, and you see the old castle in the background there. Feel free to check out my previous uploads on this. There is one thing I want to show off, though. Go to the Galaxy Sword real quick. Get the most of our 235. So if you come up here, swing around, more money. Mouseman's just rolling in high value treasures, which makes sense because his is the form that can get, some of the most expensive items in the game, the crystal weapons. Now, for the sake of posterity, we are going to go ahead and switch to the Tasmanian sword. And once we get on the other side here, waste an arrow. See that green frog getting ready to jump. And we're just going to pay him no mind. We're going to fly over this whole thing. We don't even need to hit the ghost at the end of the stage for a key, because we picked a spare key up at the end of the pyramid there. Got the little red bat swooping, going, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Jumping skeletons. Can't tell you how many times childhood me died to the jumping skeletons. I think those green little mounds that spit the fire, the little volcano monsters, can just about hit you if you're not careful on this. So it's cheap, but it's not impossible to take damage and get shot down. Yeah, see, that's a high shot there. It's about as close as I would care to get. Now you see the skulls with the floating heads. Then we fly up here. Avoid that little red ghosty before going in, because it's going to be a bitch to do it otherwise. Hop down. Now there's a secret room right beneath us with a treasure chest, but I don't think it gives any money. I think it's all restorative items and whatnot, so I'm not going to bother. Got ghosts. Got a host of the ghosts. Got the little indestructible fire statue things, which are never fun. Should have a blue ghost on this side. If it just, yeah. There we go. Okay, now this is the one. Gotcha. Gotta stay on the bottom for the red gin. One, it's always easier to hit from the bottom side, and one, it's always easier to hit from the top side of the floor. The green ones, apparently it's easier to hit from the top side of the floor. Spoilers, we'll have a room with green gin a little further on. This room's just a pain. Hey, we get our arrow back. I forgot the little green hat guys are the only one of these smiley face monsters that actually give items. You actually get a drop off them. Feel happy about that. Double tap the blue spike ball, and now we're moving into a skeleton room. You have headless skeletons and ghosties. Just kind of want to catch the headless skeletons before they start doing those jumping shenanigans. Really want to catch the ghosts up top so they have less room to move. And then inevitably you get stuck in a scenario like that. Get some fuzzballs, get some Cyclops. Gallic Sword making short work of the Cyclops. Fun fact though, they will drop down. Switch to the inside track here, dodge those spike balls, and down we go. You could run it. I prefer to just fall down the mid-well though. Love that song. Just a whimsical little break. To remind you that no matter how harrowing the situation is, you gotta have fun when you're a magical mouse trapped in a dungeon. Here come the green guys. Yep, see how much easier they are to hit from the top side. Also occasionally leads to their items falling through the wall, but such is life. I'll probably just take these from the bottom because my timing is not the best this morning. Another skeleton and spike ball room. Forgot I had to hit that guy twice. That's on me, obviously. Didn't forget that time, just didn't do it. We're getting there. Okay. Clear through there. Okay, here we go. Here's the skeletons with the ghosts. Don't know why I thought they came with the spike balls. There we go. Took that one out nice and easy. See, if you just make him ride the top, he can't really, go up and down and mess with your day. Speaking of messing with your day, so this is a tough transformation to do here, probably the toughest part of this run for me. So we're going to drop back down where the things are magically going to disappear. So happy for that. Going to get the entire way to the Hawk, and hey, first try, we get the hitting that up and attack in time before you hit the ground. Not a guarantee for me there, but we got human form to face the zombie dragon. That's what I was looking for. We're going to come out just a little bit there. Well, I just bungled that, didn't I? Key is let him do that, and then just jump up and hit him when he surfaces. Should only need to hit him 3 times. Because again, we've got the legendary sword, and that is far more sword than this dragon was designed for. I'd say that's a good amount of gold. Transform to our fishy friend. Drop down here. Can't help but feel we're going to get more gold here. Or it could be an empty chest. See, I can't remember them all. Swimming. Good old Piranha Man. Gonna stay topside through that first little island section. And as soon as we clear this crab, we are diving into the deep. Takes us right where we want to be. We switch to the Gallic Sword so we get our full 230 attack. Slide in there. Time to jump over. Got a couple of the old floating stones to weave our way around. There's a medical center. Get the nurse to heal you up on the left side there. Of course, much like that tornado, we don't need it, so we'll just kind of let it go. Get the fishy. Just for the sake of due diligence, we'll take out that octopus. If you get down that well to the right side, you could actually pick up one of your hearts from there. Right now, we're going to go into the shipwreck, and then we're going to transform back into human form. Try and take this out on the quicker side. I'd say we're making the okay time so far. See, it's still the green hat. Still the green hat, gents, but no gold, no items to be had there. Now we move to the little green ghosties, which are going to fire at us. By no means am I doing a 100% run on this. By no means am I trying to kill everything I see. By no means am I having an easy time with those blocks. This is actually a fantastic game to watch people speedrun. A, because it's a very, very pretty game. It is wonderfully aesthetically pleasing. And B, because it's an enjoyable little action-packed game. It's not super long. It's simple to follow, which means it's an enjoyable watch. You don't have to sit there and decipher every little thing, and there's not too much to miss. Just let that coin go. That one we'll get, though. Moving through here, we got some more Cyclops, and I think we should be moving into the Blue Ghosts. Blue Ghosts are going to be annoying because those fireballs will chase us the entire way across the screen if we let them. Really wanted to get that Cyclops before they piled up and made a big issue. And now it's time for Captain Dragon. Probably my least favorite. I don't know why, I just never got my timing right on this guy. as plainly evidenced here. Fortunately, legendary sword, so 3 hits and he's gone. See, what I should do one of these days is actually practice up on this game, get my reflexes back, and do a run with the ivory sword, the starting sword in the game, all bosses. That would get a bit harrowing at times. In this little island section here, probably one of childhood me's most visited parts. Return back to town. So the great thing about Lion Man is his attack already pretty much rivals that of human. The human form really doesn't have a big edge on Lion Man. The one place where Lion Man kind of falls short is actually with the magical saber creating blocks. So up there is a shop. I swear there's a shop. Let's hit the block, huh? There we go. Couple swords you could buy there. That's not why we're here today, though. There we go. Down the 3rd tube. Good switch. Blue snakes have some really good jump. So a little bit of the old bob and wave there. And into the next screen we go. Let's say we want to go topside there. Yeah, generally if it's filled with enemies at the beginning, that's probably the route you need. But because we went topside there, I kind of get the feeling next time we have that choice we should go underneath. Not always going to work that way, just kind of how I'm feeling it goes at the moment. Little blue ghosties. And there are lots of hidden doors and things scattered throughout here. See, that time we went topside to no avail. Now we have to deal with a never-ending train of the blue-capped smiley face monsters. And because my jumping is not the best, we'll go ahead and switch to the dragon mail just so we have that extra lava immunity. Much worse defensively. Probably the kind of thing we should be switching back off of there once we're through the lava. But what fun is that? Huh? See? Clear that bat the old-fashioned way. Almost made it through there clean. And with that out of the way, back to the legendary armor we go. Just gonna dodge all of that. Pick my heart of health back up. Nope. Pretty sure there was a hidden door for a shop there. But that's not what we're after. Kill that ghost out of annoyance. Yes, I do refer to two different monsters as ghosts, because they both look like ghosts. I know the smaller floating ones are supposed to be wisps, but there you go. Past another hidden shop there. That one, you need to take a secret door to a secret door, and the second secret door takes you to the shop. Pretty sure this is also a dead end. But it's three of those little flower things in a row, so you kinda got it, right? Oh, okay, no. That's the route you want to go. Now, if you have the hawk, you can just hit that bottom Cyclops guy. He's always going to have a large heart drop and then fly up. Otherwise, you got to hit him and go back around. Just outside the Daimyo Temple. Facing the ninja. And then we'll have the samurai. See beautiful cherry blossoms floating through the screen here. Cannot stress enough how beautiful the remake of this game is. And normally I am a, play the original as the original kind of guy, but yeah, you really have to appreciate the love and attention to detail that went into this. Get out of a hairy situation there. We had a few ninja piled up. Get my samurai timing back here. So on that vertical slash, all of the stronger samurai are going to be firing projectiles at us. Now we are inside the temple. See? Even the bats are taking 2 strikes here. Daimyo Temple isn't fooling around. And why should it? It's the next to last boss. Love how he's just kind of positioned on that pot. And that right there is why. Because it's just out of reach of your shield for when he throws the shuriken. Okay. That screen's down. This temple always threw me for a loop when I was younger because none of the doors are at the very end. There's always that little bit extra, and I always thought there was like a hidden door somewhere. Spoiler, there is, and we'll get to it. That could have been much worse. One hit from the ninja, not the worst fate we could have had. Multi-hit ninja. The absolute worst. Lost a whole heart of health there. There we go. Let him jump over to the other side. Catch him on the way down. I'll take that. Now we're right next to the boss room. Gonna skip that for a second, come right to this panel here. Not much in this chest. Just a large heart and a potion. Now in we go to fight. You know what, let's have him come back to the center here. $12. And that's the ball game. So that's the Daimyo Dragon down. Game being nice, giving us a big old bag of gold there, despite us not having the lucky sword up. And now we are the Hawkman. Take out that guy, ignore that bat that was just on screen for about half a second. Get more money. Yes, we could have switched to the lucky sword, but as you can see, these numbers are pretty high anyway. And then back home we go. Time to make our run at the Vampire Dragon. Or Vampire Dragon, you know, if you want to use the word that was probably intended. A little bit of a typo in the end credits there. So here you have all sorts of different blocks that you could make with the magical saber. Turn them into just stone blocks and then break them. As a kid, I always thought you had to do half or more. It's because I would always start at the far left, get as many as you can, and then break as many. So by the time I got dead middle here, I was always at about halfway. When in reality, all you really need is that one. And then it creates the door. We are going to be switching a few times the form here. Here at the Sky Palace. Isn't that something? I still love the way the stars look in the original. Make our way through the gauntlet of fire chucking and immortal statues here. Switch to the old Tasmanian sword. Ugh. And then, like a doof, just get shot out of the sky a bunch of times. As we do. Just enough to back them off. Come down. Grab our heart. Use the little invisible entrance there to our advantage. Come on. Time to switch. Go with Lion Man. Hack our troubles away. Cloud probably the biggest nuisance at this point because of the fire. Sure, we could kill it. Just doesn't seem very sporting overall. Once we get to the top, really no choice there. Also no choice. Should be right back here. Yeah. Okay. There's our drop down. Speaking of drop down, invisible wall right there. Well, invisible lack of wall, I should say. Switch back over. Guess it helps to actually select the weapon, huh? There we go. Make it through. And that's all we really needed. Once again, use our invisible lack of wall there. We could go in this room, which is just going to transform us, or we could just transform this way. Tasmanian sword, really useful here in the remake. Still can't remember how to make it trigger in the original game. There we are. And yeah, Lion Man is in fact wonderfully equipped for dealing with those ninja because of the wide swath of the attack. That actually went relatively painless. Now we're to the part of the game that actually expects you to use Lion Man. Never going to miss an opportunity to use this little gambit. Don't know why I keep doing that after everyone. I apologize. So, I'm generally not the biggest fan of using the items, but here's a situation where it makes all the sense in the world. That's about the only way you can kill those fuzzballs. Just use some lightning. Just jump up. Time to transform again. Yeah, that's actually the one we want. Stay with Lion Man for that attack arc. Lizard Man would be alright here too because of the ranged attack, but you have to remember to fire at all the projectiles to block them. Forgot about the ninja. I was on such a roll there too. In case you're wondering if the same trick works here, of course it does. There's a little secret transform room, so you can go ahead and do this. Otherwise, you're never making it back up. There we go. That was awkward as all heck and took more damage than it ever should have. There we go. Sneak up there. Before you know it, we are almost through. Grab us a little bit of a heart. A very little bit of a heart. And here we are. Just before the final battle, one more transformation. Back to the legendary sword we go. Missed that easy second shot. There we go. And just like that, it's over. Having the legendary sword certainly helps, but there it is, a Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap boss run. We get the Salamander Cross, which would normally remove the curse, but the curse is already removed as we are squarely in the post game. Get this nice little cutscene at the end. Gives me a chance to stretch the old arms. Wonder Boy home at last. And in we go. The long battle-filled journey is finally ended. The tales of your gallant and heroic actions will be passed down from one generation to another through all eternity, or at least a few console cycles. Good night, brave warrior. Good night, Monsterland. Little shooting star there at the end. And then it goes through the transformations and everything. Love that they show the Mouse Man running upside down. Do that in the original game too, but with the original graphics, it's just... Trans Gamer Girl, hey, how you doing? Sorry you just missed the boss rush. Kinda something I've been wanting to do on stream for a while there. How have you been lately? Got the cast with the original 1989 typos. Love that as well. Could see him here real quick coming up here. Got the Vampire Dragon. I know there's another one in there somewhere. And this I thought was a really nice touch too. They show everybody that worked on the remake as they were back in 1989. A lot of childhood photos, a lot of baby photos. And the Weststone team just woke up. Dealing with a lot of stuff, lost all of my fragment progress, but planning on restarting soon. Oh, sorry to hear you lost your progress, but never a better time to start up. Don't know if you've been keeping tabs on the project, but the entire offline story is translated, and there have been a fun bunch of newer players coming in. A couple of them have been streaming on the Discord pretty regularly, a bunch of new servers popping up. Good time all around. That kid sleeping on the bus always cracks my son up. He says it's sleeping on the bus because that's what he always does coming home from school. And you've got quality assurance testers. I'm thinking that was pretty much an in-the-moment shot there. I believe the 1989 pics are over. Dang it, I was planning on waiting till I learned Japanese, but cool, I could get in sooner. Yeah, I was very thankful that and really it was an amazing thing that they got the story done in less than a year. It's still not 100% finished. There's still some like little NPC chat bubble dialogue just in towns and some interactions. But as far as the main story elements, all of the cutscenes and everything, those are translated. I believe all of the seasonal events that we've seen so far and we're lucky enough to capture, they've translated those as well. So New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, Setsubun, Sports and Fitness Day, all of those should be translated as well. Lately, I've been sort of lucky on farming runs, hit a bunch of quality rares, got Crim's Spear, got the Chaos Sword, grabbed Silent Bomber, which was a riot, gave that one to Emus, and if you've never seen the Master Bomber summon, it's called Stuck. It's probably the coolest thing out of nowhere. I can probably read the speech bubbles as long as they're in hiragana or katakana. Yeah, they are. I think they said katakana is what it's mostly in, and for the life of me, I couldn't tell you the difference between those two, but that's still in the original, how it was in the game. You know what? I'm going to head back in just for the heck of it. Continue the convo while I'm going. What do I want to do, though? See, that's the tough thing with the boss run. I already did the boss run. Now let's head up this way. Fight through the lava section. Okay, so I've got all of my legendaries equipped. Got my arrows up. Hiragana is for Japanese words that are from Japan. Katakana is basically for American loan words like camera. Oh, alright. Thank you. I'd never known that. Now again, this is where a person who is confident in their platforming would just jump through. I'm grabbing the dragon mail because at some point I'm gonna fall. And lava would normally hurt quite a bit in this game. Just for the sake. That's half a heart gone at full defensive power. Good. Switch over to the tornado there. Take out that guy. Forgot to put the dragon mail on. That time I was just dumb. Japanese is a weird language still, but once you get used to it, the weird format of sentences and stuff. You've never heard of this game? Oh my. This is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. It was originally released on the Sega Master System as Wonder Boy 3. I want to say Hudson Soft did a pseudo bootleg version of it called Monsterland 2 as well. Believe that was released for the PC Engine. This is one of my childhood favorites. Probably the first game I ever beat. It's not the hardest or the biggest, but it is fairly open world for a game from 1989. Gives you lots of options, lots of collectibles, and lots of little secrets. And one of the things I wanted to do, since Lizard Cube went ahead and masterfully redid this game back in 2017, uh, this is the game in all of its remastered glory. I see I wasn't alive when the Master System was a thing. And that's why I'm the grumpy old guy gaming. Master System was a beautiful system. I'm not going to lie. I was really kind of the only one in my friends group with one, so I sort of felt like an outcast a bunch of times when it came to games because they'd be talking Nintendo, and we didn't get one till just about the Super Nintendo was out. We had picked up a used NES. Still an absolute awesome system was the Master System, and I still play a bit of it, mostly on emulation here at home. When I visit my parents, the Master System and everything, the case of games that we have, they're still down there, but we've worn the pins out. I really need to get that fixed for my dad. May see who can do that for me, make that an early Christmas gift this year. Because that was back in the day when my mom still played video games. Have good old family game night, everybody get together. But 2017, I want to say Lizard Cube remastered it. First game you beat was Dot Hack Infection. That is an excellent first game. My goodness. Infection was probably the Dot Hack game I've played the most because it took me 2 years to track down Mutation. It never really hit stores around here, and I didn't think about eBay. I mean, by myself without any help. Okay, well, you know, beating a game is beating a game, whatever personally counts for you. Beat by yourself without any help, that's an awesome standard. This one I absolutely used help for. Back in the day, pre-internet, there were these little code books, and this game has a password save feature built into the original. It's technically still in this part as well. Let me wander my way back here. And when I get back, you know what, I'll take the cheap way back to town. So here in town, till 2016, that's fair, and honestly, that would be how I would recommend it these days. A friend of mine I was actually talking about the Dot Hack games with yesterday, and he's also in the got Infection and never was able to track down the rest. And I had mentioned I got all 4 in box, and he just kind of gave me the, was that a wise purchase look? I love my friends. Always looking out. But yeah, they got pricey in a hurry. Not gonna lie, I was fortunate on some of them. Infection was discounted when I picked it up at GameStop, and I got Outbreak for free. Had the whole GU series on PS2. Now that's one I didn't really get into. I'd loved Infection so much, and I'd read about the GU games, and I'm like, I don't know if that's really for me. And I'd actually seen a blurb about Fragment and had that, man, that game would be awesome. And too bad we're never going to get it. Lo and behold, some years later. I will say, though, when I finally played the GU series, it really did kind of wake me back up to Dot Hack, because my wife had picked up the Last Recode remaster for me on PS4, and playing that, I just kind of got that itch again. So overall, I was being a bit too stubborn, and I will say those games are fun. Did you enjoy them? So here we've got sort of a fortune teller pig just sort of making snarky remarks at us, which is a nice little touch. But when we switch back to the retro graphics, the old smoking pig. Again, never made me want to smoke, just made me want to hang out with pirate pigs. What was funny was I knew Last Recode was coming out a bit early due to my job at the time, so I sold the PS2 ones before they lost value. Huh. Yeah, I didn't think of that. I guess they woulda. Yeah. Loved GU Last Recode. Really didn't enjoy the PS2 versions. Yeah, I did hear the quality of life improvements they did were very much appreciated. I could say playing Last Recode, it was really smooth for me, except for the part where that was where my PS4 started acting up and overheating, and I remember I had beaten the final Kubia battle, and my buddy Matt had called, and I had not saved, and while I was talking to him, I stepped away, and when I came back, the system had overheated and shut down. So I had to wait for it to cool down, clean it all out, and play it all back. I'd been playing for about an hour and 20 minutes leading into that. But hey, Battle's so nice I beat it twice. Had a job where I had to react to the trailers to see if they would get me to buy a game. That is an awesome job. Little bit jealous of that, but honestly, I would suck at that job because I am the absolute cheapest. I would take a look at everything and be like, maybe. Nah. If it's on sale, and then I'd go home and it would just eat at me until I'd end up buying it. Sounds like an amazing job. But these passwords, and the nice thing about this is you could actually use these passwords and put them in to the original game and they will work more or less. Not an exact 100% transfer, but it's close enough. They get all the states and everything that you had. Cried when I saw the Last Recode trailer because I thought .hack was dead. I get that feeling. .hack is very much that franchise that just sort of pops up every now and then, and you're like, oh my god, that... Yeah. The passwords I absolutely love, and I can't tell you how many sheets of notebook paper I just had stashed in the old case for this game, with just password after password. But they used to put out like independent press, like cheat code and secret books. And I actually talked my dad into buying one at the bookstore that had Wonder Boy 3 passwords in it. And I found the dev code, and that's the first time I beat the game, and then I just sort of figured out my way through the rest of the bosses and beat it legit. But I just wanted to see the end screen, and that was like such an experience for childhood me to cheat the game. Plus I sucked. I mean, I'm not good at gaming now, but back then, I really can't decide whether I'm more partial to the retro or not. Seeing a little bit of screen tear here, but that's probably because I'm streaming this off of Shadowcast and trying to keep up with everything else at the moment. It actually does play super smooth. Oh yeah, the retro is gorgeous, and that was really the hallmark of the Master System. It didn't have the most processing power, but it had the full like arcade graphics card. So you got some really bold sprites, some vibrant colors. I think this was just a shield. Yeah. And again, Smoking Pig at every shop. He sort of became the unofficial Wonder Boy mascot, which is weird for a game series to have a mascot that isn't the title character, but it works. Phantasy Star was a Master System game. It may have got re-released for the Genesis. I know its sequels came out on the Genesis. Awesome game. Dot Hack and Chim Chims, valid point. Valid point. Though I would make an argument for Silver Knight as the unofficial Dot Hack mascot, the wettest blanket in video game history. Poor Silver Knight. Just wants to impress Subaru. Of course, you know the R1 in me wants to say Chim Chims. Don't you mean Grunties? Never Monsieur or Grandpa. Dot Hack game with the IRL management of the Persona series, that would be cool. There've actually been a number of talks lately on what we would like to see out of a Dot Hack game, and I've sort of subconsciously thrown my hat into the ring on that. I just recently started playing through Final Fantasy Tactics for about the 8,000th time in my life, and I've been R2 has a play. That is fair. And I joke about R2 a lot. I prefer R1 as well. But again, without the last Recode series, I would have probably never got back into Dot Hack, which meant I would have never rediscovered Fragment. I would have never got to talk to, cool people like you. So I will give R2 that credit. It brought me back in. And now, after that moment of sentimentality, I've completely lost my train of thought. And I can no longer fire arrows accurately. 0 for 2, what am I doing? There we go. At least got one back. Now, sadly, I have got to get going here. What we need is a Dot Hack game that looks like the Dot Hack movie. Yeah, that one is kind of cool. Versus, of course, got packaged with it. Looks really, really nice. I don't know. Like, even something along those lines, just cleaned up a bit more as an RPG would be amazing. But then I'm a simpler is better guy too. A Versus 2 with a more fleshed out roster, I would be down for that. I would absolutely be down with that. They didn't even have Mia in Versus, which was an absolute sin. Let's face it, you wanted to play as Mia. You wanted to see Aura just sort of hover around and wreck things. Too many twin blades. But, it was kind of the pro tag calling card. So I guess I can't complain too much. Still, Versus is fun. I need to pick it up at some point again. I got really into it there for about a month, and then when I put it down, I found it very difficult to get back into. But that's just me in fighting games. Anyway, I have got to get going because I've got to head out here and buy a TV. A couple months back, my son cracked the one upstairs. Yeah, Too Many Twin Blades is literally Dot Hack's #1 issue. RPG with the combat style of Versus? That would be an interesting take on it. Customizable movesets is the big thing. R1 is nice for what it is, but it's sort of a time capsule series there. IMOQ and Fragment. It's the kind of thing that wouldn't work in a game today, 100%, because it is limiting, but taking a look at what it gives you within itself. Have fun. Thank you. You have a good day as well, and thank you for popping in and saying hi. Hopefully see you around Fragment, and take care everybody, and we will see you around. Stream Fragment when I get further in? Absolutely. Just let me know when. Be more than happy to. Okay. Take care.